In this video, we're going to talk about thought groups.
Extra English practice.
Thought groups are part of pronunciation. They're how we organize our sentences. So in English, we leave short pauses between sentences, but also within sentences.
We don't just leave them randomly, though. We have specific places where a pause is expected, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Each of these groups is called either a thought group or a chunk. So to give you a good idea of what we're talking about, we're going to read the same paragraph 3 ways with pauses in different places and see which one you think sounds more natural and understandable. Winter is the best season. I love snow because it is beautiful and fun. I can't skate, but I can ski on snowy days. I build a snowman with my children. I like to drink tea or hot chocolate with my friends. We celebrate Christmas and New Year's Day in the winter.
Winter is the best season. I love snow because it is beautiful and fun. I can't skate, but I can ski on snowy days. I build a snowman with my children. I like to drink tea or hot chocolate with my friends. We celebrate Christmas and New Year's Day in the winter.
Winter is the best season. I love snow because it is beautiful and fun. I can't skate, but I can ski. On snowy days, I build a snowman with my children. I like to drink tea or hot chocolate with my friends. We celebrate Christmas and New Year's Day in the winter.
Hopefully the third paragraph sounded best to you. That's the one that sounds best to us. That first one, there was no pauses. It was too hard to understand because you have no time to think. And the second one just felt awkward because the pauses were in such weird places. So that third one with the pauses where they were is what we're going to talk about today, how to make those pauses.
So just to reiterate, thought groups are the little chunks in a sentence, and each one contains a single thought, so one idea. So for example, in the sentence, my mother and I never walk barefoot at night, there are 3 ideas. My mother and I is who? Never walk barefoot, what? At night, when? So if I break them up in the wrong place, my mother and I never walk barefoot at night, it sounds weird. But my mother and I never walk barefoot at night sounds natural.
Yeah. Usually a thought group is made up of 2 to 5 words and is often a noun phrase. So for example, you could say the old man or the quacking ducks.
They could also be verb phrases like listen to music or want to go out.
They could also be prepositional phrases. For example, in the morning or behind the door.
When you're trying to decide where a phrase or a chunk ends, you can look to the content and function words. So a chunk or a thought group will always end with a content word, a word that contains meaning. These are nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, negatives, words that hold meaning, not words that are just grammar words. So a chunk or a thought group will never end with the or because or in, but they will end with words like tomorrow or outside or quickly.
So why do we do this, or why is it important for you to learn how to do this and how to recognize it? We use thought groups to help the listener understand. So in our example earlier with the paragraphs, when I say a whole bunch of ideas with no pauses, it's hard to take in all that information. So it helps both the speaker and the listener organize the ideas and helps the listener understand more clearly.
As a speaker, it also can help you slow down, and that in turn will help the listener understand you. Not to mention, it's just expected. So an English speaker will expect to hear these pauses, and when they don't hear them, then they get a little jumbled up.
Yeah, they might still understand you without the pauses, but it will be harder and they'll get tired of listening more quickly than they would otherwise.
All right, let's do a little activity to practice this. We have in front of us 4 piles of cards. Each one has a chunk or a thought group on it. And we're going to choose one from each pile and make a sentence. A ridiculous sentence.
Yeah, they're a little silly.
And then your job is to see if you can find where the breaks go. Ready? So my sentence is, My best friends knit colorful sweaters at the football stadium in the middle of the night. Again, my best friends knit colorful sweaters at the football stadium in the middle of the night. My best friends knit colorful sweaters at the football stadium in the middle of the night.
Okay, next one. The noisy teenagers listen to loud music in the countryside in their pajamas.
Why?
Because they're teenagers. They're crazy. Okay, one more time. The noisy teenagers listen to loud music in the countryside in their pajamas. The noisy teenagers listen to loud music in the countryside in their pajamas.
Next sentence. His elderly grandparents dance the tango at the cinema with all their friends. His elderly grandparents dance the tango at the cinema with all their friends. His elderly grandparents dance the tango at the cinema with all their friends.
Next, my crazy neighbors want to go swimming at the North Pole in the early morning. No thanks.
Not even in the heat of the day.
Yeah. My crazy neighbors want to go swimming at the North Pole in the early morning. They're crazy. It's true.
Yep.
My crazy neighbors want to go swimming at the North Pole in the early morning.
Okay, next one. Our English teachers like to play card games on a tropical island as the sun sets. Our English teachers like to play card games on a tropical island as the sun sets. I would like that.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
We're English teachers.
Perfect. It's us. Let's go. Our English teachers like to play card games on a tropical island as the sun sets.
This is the last one. Here we go. The college students always eat pasta in their backyard with their pet rabbit.
Does the pet rabbit eat pasta?
I don't know, but at least they aren't eating the pet rabbit.
Yeah.
The college students always eat pasta in their backyard with their pet rabbit. The college students always eat pasta in their backyard with their pet rabbit.
Okay, so that was our overview of thought groups or chunking. Listen for thought groups as you're going about your life and listening to English. See if you can hear where English speakers are leaving little pauses in their sentences. And try it out.
Yeah. If you liked this video, then be sure to click the subscribe button and share it with your friends.
And we have lots more videos for you to watch as well.
With my children, I like to drink tea or hot chocolate with my friends. We celebrate Christmas and New Year's Day in the winter. I ran out of breath.
They could also be... Eep!